Hey guys, did you know that tennis balls haven't always been yellow? In this British English lesson, we'll be learning about how they came to be the colour they are today whilst doing a read-along, meaning you'll be getting exposed to a bit of British English pronunciation, and then we'll be breaking down the vocabulary as we go, and I'll be showing you what I use to study and teach vocabulary in 2024. So get ready to enhance your online language learning toolkit whilst improving your British English. Let's get into it. All right, so we have the evolution of tennis ball colours, a long and illuminating history. Tennis, a sport steeped in tradition and history, has undergone numerous transformations. Steeped, I wonder if you know this word, steeped in tradition, meaning it has a lot of tradition. So if I don't know about this word, steeped, I can either go to Google and simply say meaning, or I can go to Younglish and I can see how people say it in context. In fact, let's pause that. Let's go back to the basic meaning. So steeped, surround or fill with quality or influence, a city steeped in history. So it's a bit more specific than what I said. That was a pretty basic, if not incorrect, definition. And then another usage is this one. The chilies are steeped in olive oil. So something can be soaked in it. And then we can go to this site called Younglish, and we can see how people use it in actual conversation. And the reason this is so good is because it's how natives are speaking the language. It's not written, it's actually how they're reporting it, or even, because it's YouTube, it could be just, word on the street.
Steeped in a 70-year-old culture that prized searching houses more than searching.
Okay, so this lady was American. So up top, we can go UK and just have British. Also, you can quickly go to the next example. Another one.
Sato Amalfitano lemons, which are steeped in grain alcohol.
So that one is actually using it as the this definition here. That first meaning is a good metaphor. Like, we're using the second meaning kind of as a metaphor of this first one. So if you imagine the physical one of what you do, if you kind of put it in water, so to extract its flavor, you're doing that metaphorically with things. So if we come back to this sentence, tennis, a sport steeped in tradition and history. So the tennis is in the water of tradition and history. That really makes sense now, doesn't it? Before we go on with this video, do you know your level of English? If you don't, then how do you know if you're even improving? I believe that at your level of English, it's really important to know where you're at in order to spot the improvement, as that can be immensely satisfying, which will increase your motivation to keep going. So I've made a free English level test that is also a good English lesson in itself, as I've created a bunch of videos going through the results after you have taken the test. You can take the test right now by clicking the link on screen. The link is also in the description of this video and the pinned top comment, or simply head over to the britishenglishpodcast.com/testme. All right, do that, and then you can come back to this video lesson once you know your level. Amazing. Okay, so it's undergone numerous transformations. Among these changes, the evolution of tennis ball colours is particularly illuminating. Kind of clever, maybe, using illuminating. From the 19th, I didn't write this, by the way. From the 19th century, courts where balls were white or black to today's vibrant yellow spheres. This journey reflects a fascinating tale of adaptation and innovation. Okay, so they were black and white before. Goodness me, crazy, right? So spheres, that's just another word for a round thing. I think you might be comfortable with that, so I'm going to keep going. A bygone era, white and black balls. Okay, so let's look at this one. Bygone era. So era, the time, the period of time, and then bygone. Any ideas? So we've got this word here, gone. You know that word. Let's have a little look. So sometimes I like to just double click, highlight it, and then right click and click define the word in Google Docs. It will come up pretty easily. So belonging to an earlier time. There we go. Okay, so a bygone era. So yeah, white and black balls, they were part of a time in the past, right? In the 19th century, tennis balls were either white or black, practical choices for indoor courts and the lighting conditions of the time, right? Yeah, so tennis was played indoor. These hues contrasted well against the dim and shadowy backgrounds. Sorry, I disconnected that word. Did you notice that? I said backgrounds, whereas we would say shadowy backgrounds. Backgrounds. You don't separate that. Backgrounds. Backgrounds. Serving both players and spectators adequately. Okay. Hues. I wonder if you know that one. So the context is quite favourable to help you understand this word. The something contrasted well against the background. And we're talking about the white and black ball. Hues, I'd say like that's just, I know there is a more specific reason that they use hues instead of colours, but it's like shades of colour, I'm going to say. So let's use ChatGPT to teach us. So teach me, so I would say define hues for a non-native learner of English. And that way it will give you it in easy to understand vocabulary. So a hue is a type of colour. It's what we usually think of when we hear the word colour, okay? But I want to understand why we use hues sometimes and colours the other time. So I would say, why do we use hues sometimes and colour and the word colour another time? So I like to get them to give examples, right? So if you said, I love the colour of your shirt, that feels normal. But if I said, I love the hue of your shirt, that seems weird. So the hue of that flower is a deep red. It's quite pretentious, but it seems a bit more fitting. Artists often use complementary hues to create contrast. Now we're in the cultured world here, this context, right? So this feels a bit more appropriate for me as a native speaker. So I wouldn't cringe if I heard somebody talking about the hues of a painting, but I would cringe if I heard somebody say, I love the hues of your shirt or the hue of your shirt. Hue is often used in more technical or artistic contexts. That's what I felt a bit more comfortable with, right? Okay, so it's a good way to deepen your understanding using examples, asking ChatGPT to give you some real examples of the word. So these hues contrasted, how do I say that? These hues contrasted well, contrasted. These hues contrasted well against the dim and shadowy backgrounds, serving both players and spectators adequately. The television revolution. The mid-20th century brought television to the forefront of sports consumption. Okay, we got forefront there. That's a nice word. So the suffix front, that's fairly obvious, right? And then for as the, front for as the prefix. I mean, that's kind of saying the front, isn't it? So forefront means leading, the leader of something. So brought television to the forefront of sports consumption. So people were consuming sport mostly through TV. So they led it now. They were the leaders of helping people consume TV. They didn't just read about it in newspapers. They didn't watch it live. They all watched it on TV. Tennis broadcasts faced a challenge. White tennis balls were nearly invisible on black and white TV screens. Okay. Yes, okay. Blending into the backdrop and frustrating viewers. Yes, that would be annoying, wouldn't it, if you can't see the ball? The birth of the yellow ball. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, tennis authorities recognized the need for a solution. In 1972, the International Tennis Federation, ITF, introduced the bright yellow tennis ball, enhancing visibility and viewer engagement. The yellow ball, with its striking color, transformed the viewing experience, making it easier for fans to follow the action. I think the vocabulary is fairly understandable there. Enhance, to improve. Yeah, I think you've got that. That's okay. Interesting though, isn't it? So it used to be white, but then black and white TV made it difficult for most people to consume it, because most people were consuming it by now. And they're like, we need some color in here. A new standard emerges. The yellow tennis ball quickly became the norm. The norm, I guess you know this based on just normal. But yeah, we say the norm, meaning the typical, the usual, the normal thing. Today, it is the standard in both professional and recreational tennis, an iconic part of the sport's identity. Its vivid hue benefits television audiences and helps players track the ball during fast-paced matches. If I said color there, I would feel a bit basic. So something about vivid, its vivid color benefits television. Hue really does make sense there. Doesn't sound pretentious, just sounds fitting. Fast-paced, fast. So quick matches, you know how they're serving the ball at 100 plus miles an hour. 137, I think, was Alcaraz's recent one. Alcaraz, interesting. Brits, the commentary in Wimbledon this year, they were saying Alcaraz because of the Spanish pronunciation. But I think that's questionable. It's a slippery slope because, you know, every name has its own pronunciation based on the sounds that language makes. So if we're going to do that for the Z for Spanish speakers, then that opens up a huge can of worms of what pronunciation we should be using. Should we say Paris instead of Paris? Should we be saying Colombia instead of Colombia? Should we be saying Chile instead of Chile? It's a slippery slope. I think we've got to stay consistent, and we're not suddenly going to all learn the proper pronunciation of the names of every single language. So I think it was a mistake to do that. What do you think? Do you think that's showing respect? Or do you think, like me, that's perhaps going to be causing complete chaos if we continue down that line? Let me know in the comments. All right, so reflecting on change. The transition from white to yellow tennis balls is more than a mere anecdote. It is a testament to the sport's capacity for adaptation. Okay. This simple change, driven by the need for improved visibility, underscores the importance of innovation in maintaining the sport's relevance and excitement. I think I just skipped a bit in terms of understanding the language. Mere, like small, basic, not just. It's not just an anecdote. Anecdote, story. So it's not just a simple story. It's not just a story. It's more than that. It's more than a story. Driven by the need for improved visibility, underscores the importance of innovation. Underscores, supports, I'm going to say, but let's learn together. So define underscores. This is a good one. Highlight. Yes, it highlights something. Emphasizes. To emphasize or highlight something. That's all you need to know. Yeah. So underscores the importance of innovation, highlights and makes it more important. Last paragraph. As you watch the next tennis match, reflect on the bright yellow ball darting across the court. Darting. If you know the sport darts, where they throw a little spike with flights on them, usually rather large men that like to drink lots of pints like to play darts in Britain. It's quite a big thing, actually. I want to show you. Darts, UK. Oh, not products. We're not going to buy a board. This guy is like I think he was 16 when he won something massive recently. But yeah, they don't have to have the most athletic bodies. It means to be going quickly, because that's what darts do. You don't throw it really softly and it just falls on your foot and you have to throw it fast, right, to make it fly. So darting across the court. It symbolizes tennis's enduring evolution and the sport's embrace of change to enhance enjoyment for all. This narrative of colour is a story of progress, visibility, and the relentless pursuit of a better viewing experience in the ever-evolving world of sports. That was quite a lot of words. I think it was a bit of fluff towards the middle part and the end, but still interesting. I just said a word there, fluff, and it's quite colloquial. What does the word fluff mean? Got to be careful here. Here we go. It can also refer to unnecessary or trivial content that lacks substance. That lacks substance. So I felt like the article or the piece of reading that we were going through lacked substance towards the latter part of it. What did you think? Did you find that fact interesting? I'd like to hear. I'd like you to get active in the comments and tell me whether you knew that tennis balls were originally not yellow. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed seeing how I dissect a piece of writing if I don't know any of the language, where I go online. But yeah, I've been Charlie. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.